You're live. Hi, everybody. We are live from New York. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Already there's 31 awesome people. I know I'm supposed to do a live stream on the streets, but today I decided, well, it's raining. It's like pouring rain outside right now. So I wanted to do a quick, maybe not quick, it's maybe a bit quick. It'll be a quick little live stream. I want to show you how I learned to play piano. How's the sound, by the way? How's this? Can you guys hear me? I got a little microphone. Does the sound good or is it bad? Let me know. 91 awesome people. You guys are so awesome. I made something up very recently. I'll do a little interlude. Ready? What is that hammer in the time clock? You guys like that? I just made this up this week. This is my new song that I've been working on. You know how like every week you guys are like, what's your favorite song? I'm like, well, this is what I'm playing right now. This is what I've been playing in the last week. All right, so here I'm going to show you and tell you and explain to you how I learned to play piano. I didn't have a very traditional way of learning piano. Give me your money. I'll explain piano. Now give me your money. Mr. Question Mark, 3 question marks. That's all he has. So I didn't have like a very traditional method of learning, and I'm not saying that this is like the greatest way to learn. It's actually not the best way to learn. The best way to learn piano is to have a mentor, is to have a guide, is to have someone like watching you play, is to have someone kind of guiding you. But at the same time, there's no one way to learn music, and that's the beautiful thing about it. There's no one way to do anything on the piano. It really all depends on what you want to do and what you want to learn. So I pretty much went through a very, very natural progression of learning. I did take lessons from some teacher, from a variety of different teachers over the years. I took some lessons with like a very, very famous jazz player, piano player, named Lawrence Hobgood, who showed me, I took really 2 lessons with this guy. They were like 3-hour lessons. And he gave me like the basic rundown on music theory. He gave me some really good tips, and then from there I just kind of went on my own and explored. But really, here's the big kicker right here. The way I learned music is by playing all the wrong notes. And I'll tell you, when I first started playing music, I spent years, maybe like 2 or 3 years, being stubborn not wanting to like practice the way teachers wanted me to practice. And I would just sit at the piano and play all the wrong notes until I figured out what sounded good. So actually the way I started playing with just the white keys. So I would do something like this. I would take like a triad. I ended up finding out that the C major triad, oh, this sounds nice. And then you take that and you can basically place it anywhere. This 3-finger triad, like that, C major, and you put it anywhere, and you make chords. So then how I started playing with that, I go like this. So really what I did was just playing all the wrong, well, not necessarily that. There's not the wrong notes. But what it is it's a matter of trial and error. And this is how like the original people that created music, it's all about trial and error. It's all about trying as many different combinations until you find the sound that you're looking for. So for me, that's how I started playing piano. But at the same time, you have to understand, like, what was the goal? Like, what was my goal? My goal was to kind of learn how to play jazz. But I'm not really a jazz musician. I don't really want to be a jazz musician. I don't want to just play straight jazz. But I do love jazz, and jazz inspired me to play music. But I love being able to play from the heart. I love being able to improvise and just kind of sit at the piano, close my eyes, take what I'm feeling in the moment, because that's what this is. I'm literally just taking what I'm feeling. I'm taking my emotions, what I'm feeling, and I'm just transferring it into the piano. By the way, if you guys are inspired by this, give me a thumbs up. give me a little thumb. Give me a little thumbs up. Come on, give me a little like. So yeah, awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. You guys want me to play something? What do you want me to play? And of course, I mean, I think there's multiple layers to this. It's not just, it's not just playing the wrong notes. There's a couple things that you have to do. I think there's a couple foundational things, like, for example, the muscles in your hands. You have to build these muscles in order to have like fluidity with the piano, and that takes time. That's like, I love you, Chica Gamer, I love you too. That takes time, It's like, the way I look at it, it's like going to the gym. You want to bulk up, you want to gain some muscle, you got to go to the gym every day, or you got to go to the gym like 4 to 5 times a week. So that's kind of the way you have to look at this. If you really, really love this, if you really want to do it, and you've heard this so many times, like, come on, you just got to do it every day. You got to practice. Even if you practice like 15 minutes a day, even if you do like 10-minute blocks of time, and you do 1 hour in a single day, like you do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but you have to kind of do like focused practice. The idea, what focused practice is, you got to have a goal. Like, what is your goal? So the first thing I always ask, I'm going to ask all of you this. If you want to play piano, what do you want to be able to do? Do you want to be able to play classical music? Do you want to play jazz? Do you want to be able to improvise? Do you want to play with other musicians? Do you want to be able to compose? Do you want to play like Ludovico Einaudi? You have to define the goal. And that way you can work towards that goal by creating a program to getting there. You guys want me to improvise? Send me some chords and I'll improvise on something. Focus practice is important, and it is what holds a lot of people back. I spent a lot of time in piano limbo because I didn't have a teacher to direct me. So Morgan actually brings up a good point. It's actually something that I've also spent a lot of time just like wasting time because I didn't have focus practice. And this is why it's important to have some kind of mentor. And even now, like, I'm ready to go back and take some lessons with a teacher. One second. I'm ready to go back. Like, I'm ready to go back and take some lessons with some teachers because, like, I want to gain some new perspectives. And I'm doing this. I usually do this when I kind of like run out of ideas, or I find myself playing the same stuff over again. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Love you guys. Okay. So yeah, I'm literally about to go. Not like right now, but in the near future. I'm going to be taking some regular lessons with a teacher just to kind of like, to look at my technique. My technique is a little bit, shabby. And, what's it called? Yeah, I want a teacher just to like give me some ideas. Like I'll throw some ideas at the teacher and then he might throw some ideas back. Why don't you try this? Try this. It's really all about trial and error. There's no one way to do anything. There's no one style of music that is like better than another. You know what I mean? Thanks, Anina. What's up, Morgan? Morgan, I like your comment. Thank you so much for commenting. I really appreciate it. How hard is it to improvise? For me, it's become a hassle. So, Bella, what's really important, עידו, אני רואה את מה אתה כותב עכשיו. אנחנו נדבר. אני בא לארץ בעוד שבוע משהו. Okay, I'm going to go back. How hard is it to improvise? So I'm kind of going back. I'm going back now to what I just said before, is that improvising can be hard. It can be frustrating because you have to play the wrong notes in order to find the right ones. And sometimes the wrong notes are the right ones, but you don't realize it. I know that sounds confusing, but who's to say what's wrong and what's right? This is the beauty. This is like the beautiful thing about music, is that there is no right or wrong. I, for example, I might say, this is what I like to hear. That's my song. What? You can't tell me that's wrong. Those are all the right notes. You see what I mean? That's the beauty of music. No one can tell you what's right or wrong. Where it becomes wrong is when you're playing a piece of like sheet music and you miss a note or you play a wrong note. You know what I mean? How long have I been playing piano? I've been playing piano for 11 years, about 11 years, but I didn't really start playing like every day, 5 hours a day. I would play on the streets. So about 7 years ago, 2010, I started playing piano on the streets, and I would play every day, man. I was playing like 4 or 5 hours a day, and that's how I got really good. Because I had dedication, I had the goals, I wanted it. I just wanted to play music, I wanted to meet people, I wanted to travel the world. And so I put it all this together, and I started living out of a van, and I just went at it, you know? Anyway. I got another really important thing I want to tell you guys. But I'm going to play one song first, okay? Let's see if you guys can recognize this. People keep requesting this song. now at this point, I'm just like finding different variations on the same chords. And this is kind of brings me to the next point that I want to, yo, Soren, thanks for messaging me. I'm glad you found me through Casey. Casey's the man. I love Casey. He's hooked it up. So that brings me to the next point, variations. This is really, you with the question marks, I'm about to get you. Just watch. One more comment, I'm going to get you. Thank you for all the thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this. I really appreciate it. Just variations. I can play the same chords over and over again, but I can play them a million different ways. And that leads me to the next point, which is how I learned how to improvise is by taking the same 4 chords and playing them over and over and over and over and over again, like non-stop, until you find different ways of playing it. So you got... same chords, ready? Same chords again, ready? Here we go. Now let's try like a 3/4, maybe 6/8, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. What else? How else can I play this? What are other variations of the same chords that I can do? I can do So that was like a ragtime. That was kind of like a ragtime style. How about, what else? Same chords. What am I going to play it like? Now completely in minor notes? I mean, so these chords are minor. So same chords, but I'm changing everything to minor. Ready? Why don't I change all the minor to major and the major to minor? So let me do... It's not really working too well. I'm not doing too well with that one. That's a hard one. I'm not perfect, okay? This is the interesting thing. I don't know everything about music. I'm not like the best piano player. If anything, I'm compared to like some of the great piano players that are alive right now. I just like hit the tip of the iceberg, which is like crazy to think. Yeah, if you guys like piano, an amazing pianist is Hiromi. Richard McDonald actually brings up a good point. Hiromi does this exact same thing. She'll take the chords and she'll do them a million different ways right in front of you, and she's just like phenomenal because these are people, these professional pianists, these are people that have devoted their lives to this. They've been playing for like 25, 30, 40 years, and that's all they do. I know Brad Meldau. He plays like 10 hours a day, even though he's already like ridiculous skill on the piano. He still plays like 5 to 10 hours a day, which is insane. Crazy, right? Amazing how chords can be changed and turned into so many different things. It really is amazing because even though we have 12 notes to deal with, there's infinite possibilities. How about this? Same chords. And so I think another thing that I didn't actually say, and what's important to learn, and this is where like there is like a certain amount of time you have to develop the foundation. What is the foundation? The foundation is really learning the relationships between the notes. And what that is, that's what people say when they say music theory. You got to get your music theory, bro. They don't say it like that, but you got to get your music theory. What music theory is, good night, Aryan Ibrahimi. Good night, have a good one. Music is a fantastic universe. I love that. I wish I can go back and check out these comments after the video, but I can't. Communicate with others, even if they do not speak the same language. Music is like a story. These comments are all really great comments. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys. I'll give you guys a like or a thumbs up. What I was going to say is, when people say music theory, they mean the relationships between the notes, meaning you have to learn, or that's a tritone. Creates like a dissonance, and this is a major third, and so in some ways, I like the metaphor that it's almost exactly like learning a new language. So I speak 4 languages. I speak Hebrew, Spanish, English, and music. And the way I've learned these languages is by first, you learn the alphabet. What's the alphabet? You got chromatic. You gotta learn, these are the notes. And then once you learn the notes, the alphabet, you can start making words together. So now words would be chords. Oh, cool. You can start putting words. Let's take 2. Just intervals. Just 2 notes. You don't need to play a million notes to play something that sounds good. I can do a whole song just with 2 fingers, and it'll still sound like pretty good. you play with 2 notes and you start putting words together. You got 2 notes or 3 notes. One note in the bass. This is just 3 notes. And you start building a vocabulary for yourself. You start building together these words. And then once you start building words together, you can start putting chords together, and that creates sentences. So you see how the analogy of it's exactly like learning a language. And so if you're thinking about it, bye Reed, take care Reed, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you start to realize that if you just start thinking of it like learning a language, it becomes simpler. You know, you start to look at the notes and you're like, oh, it's actually not as hard as some people make it. Seriously, some people, they look at this and they're like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not talented. But you don't even realize you're already doing it. You've already know how to do this. Why? Because you speak a language. All of you are typing to me in a language. You guys are all talking to me like mostly talking in English. And how did you learn English? It's the same exact thing. So once you start to perceive it like that, everything becomes so much simpler. Because so many people tend to overthink this. This is like I think one of the most important things. Hey, Charlie Wu, thank you. This is like the most important thing. Like once you can simplify it in your head, it becomes easier. Then you realize, oh, you get what you disconnected. No! Are you guys there? I got disconnected. All right, we're back. Here we go. So what happens is when you start to think of the piano or of music like this, it becomes easier. Seriously. Get it out of your head. Oh, here's what I was going to say is once you start to perceive the piano and music like that, it becomes easier. And the idea is that I forgot what I was going to say. So what I was going to say is that what it ends up being, it becomes a game of you get what you put into it. So the amount of time you put into this is what you'll get out of it. But there's only one thing that has to go along with that. You have to have a focused, clear program on how you're going to practice, on how you're going to develop. You got to have a clear idea of what you want. And if you have a clear program, and that's why it's important to have someone there to guide you and teach you. You have to have a goal, you have to develop a program, and then you just have to put the time. So it's all about the amount of time you put into it. You get what you put into it. Simple. That's how I've developed my skills as a piano player. You want to get better at improvising, but you don't know how to get better at that. Trying to think, what's a good way? I could tell you how I started learning how to improvise is, I'm going to go back. Thank you, Daniel Safera. If you guys, by the way, there's something called Super Chat, which you guys can click. I think there's a button you click, and you guys can Super Chat me. Or if you really want to know, this is just a little commercial. I'm going to be releasing my very, very first album. This album took me 6 years. Shalom Shai, Mashlomcha. I'm about to release my first album, guys. My very first album. This took me 6 years to make, guys. 6 years. Thank you, Daniel. And what it is, it's an album. It's 25 tracks that I've recorded live, either on the streets or conversations that I've had, and I compiled it. It's 6 years of recordings that I did while traveling around the world with the piano. So it's a combination of conversations and a piece of music, conversation and a piece of music, and you'll hear real conversations from people that I met while traveling. And these are some really, really interesting, heartwarming, eye-opening conversations that I've had with people while traveling. So I hope you guys can go check it out. Just the two of us will be on the album. But not only that, if you guys can read sheet music, I'm going to be releasing sheet music of some of the best videos, like the Just the Two of Us video. I'm going to be releasing a sheet music with all the notes from the violin part and the piano part, and you guys can check it out. I don't know about putting it on Spotify just yet. It might be on Spotify later on. Do you know how much you've been waiting for the studio version? As of now, I don't have a studio version yet, but I'm going to be releasing the album next week. It's Sammy. Since you sent me $10, you'll be able to get the album anyway. Just send me an email. You guys can send me an email or send me a message. If you guys have already helped me out and donated or helped me out, I'll be happy to send you the album. I really appreciate you guys have helped me keep going at it. It's really been a crazy journey. My email is actually in the About section on YouTube. It's dotannegrin@gmail.com. Shai, actually, I might be going to Israel in 2 weeks. I might be going to Israel because I have to visit some family there. I have some family that lives in Israel, and maybe I'll see you guys there. But anyway, back to this. So you guys can check out the album. I'm going to leave a link in the Patreon. It's going to be at Patreon. I do have PayPal, Oleg. It's paypal.me/Dotan, I think. It's in the bio. Just go down below. All right, love you guys. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. You guys have actually inspired me, by the way, because I get messages from you. You guys send me messages every week, and you guys inspire me to keep going because of the fact that I don't actually make a living doing this. I have a real job that I have to freaking do because I can't actually make a living doing this, but I'm working on it. It's been really hard for me. You can buy the album on Patreon, but I might also release a link where you can purchase it on my website. But that's going to happen next week. Just stay tuned. I'm going to release a video with all the details on that. You should write a blog. What do you mean write a blog? All right, how about... Anyway, what do you guys think? No? I lost some viewers. It's okay. Do I have any plans on doing something piano related for Christmas? I don't really have plans right now for Christmas. Gotta go. Gwendolyn, bye. Gwendolyn, Marco, I'm glad you like that. You love that chords, right? You use them a lot, or at least some chords with them. Yeah, actually, Agre, you actually identified something really interesting. I realized, we all tend to like fall into patterns, and one of my patterns, I keep playing stuff within E flat major, E flat minor, that also with like G major. These, I don't know, I keep playing around with the same kind of chord combinations, and I'm trying to break myself out of that. So like the other one that I play is this. There's something about it. There's something about these chords that, for me, like this. Thanks. But see that I'm just like doing variations on these chords. Like I'm always just playing around with like, oh, what if I change this chord and this and Anina, but it's not because of you. Thank you, Anina. I really appreciate it. Muchas gracias. I mostly fall. I don't know if you guys speak Spanish or not, but I'm just using Spanish. Can you upload this live stream so people can watch parts back? What I do is I end up taking the live streams down, but you know what I'll do? I'll probably end up, I take them down, I unlist them, so the link is still valid, and the link is in your email, but what I'll do is I could, what's it called? I could make like a web page where you guys can see all the live stream links for sure. So someone asked, what's my my job that I do? You'll find out very soon. I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna talk about the stuff that I do to make a living, to actually survive and live in New York City, because it's super expensive here. Do you change your melodies depending on what type of music you hear? I'm not really sure what that question is asking. Do you change your melodies depending on what? Really, it's about, you know what's interesting? I sometimes fall into playing the same chords, but the times when I fall out of them is when I make a mistake. And this is like the other really beautiful thing about music, is that mistakes are like other options. They're like, mistakes end up opening doors. So it's like playing music, there are no mistakes. Is that you make a mistake and it actually can be another option. It can be another door open to another way of looking at it. It's just so interesting. So I'm going to play these chords over and over again, and I'm going to show you all the different variations that I'm going to play with the same kind of combination of chords. Ready? think that was pretty good. You can turn notifications on. Am I late? You're a little bit late, Chili's. Welcome to Chili's, Chili's. Te pido, por favor, hablas un poco español, por favor. Sí, chica gamer. Podemos hablar español si quieres. Puede entender. Si no hablas español, hay posibilidad. Y si tú escuchas muy... I don't know the word for this. Si escuchas, puede entender poquito español. Sí, pero necesitas abrir tus oídos. ¿Oídos? ¿Sí? What language is that? This is Spanish. Este idioma es español, ¿entiendes? I'm really not doing the best in demonstrating because I'm playing really fast, and it's one of the other patterns that I fall into is that I start to play really fast when you're in a practice session, everything should be super, super slow. You should really just play super slow and calm and not be like jumping all over the place. But I have a tendency to do that. Another piece that I've been working on that kind of has a similar, that was all just improvising, I'm just making it all up. But so someone asked, how do I improvise? I'm going back to this game, this same idea is that how I learned is just by playing the same chords over and over again until you find different ways of playing them. And that's how I figured out how to improvise. But if you want to improvise, you have to know, you have to learn the building blocks. You have to learn the letters and the words before we can make sentences. So I'm going to play one last piece and then I'm going to go. This is like my final countdown. Thank you for all the likes and the love and the... Hannah writes, when I improvise, I get pretty shaky and nervous. So that has to do, I think, with a little bit about what's going on in your head when you're playing. We all have thoughts happening in our brain all the time. You can't let go of that. So the idea is, how can you develop the habit of only having really good thoughts? So part of that is believing that you can do it. And the only way you can do that is to face your fear. You got to throw yourself into the fire. You got to jump. You got to go for it. And you got to fly with it. And you got to believe in yourself. So part of that nervousness, you're going to have to face that fear. And you're going to have to... So I can't even pronounce your username, but that's a really good answer. Drinking heavily will solve that problem. He's actually right about that too. So, I mean, you're going to have to just keep playing, and that's the answer to that. You're going to have to keep going. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. How many years have I been playing? I've been playing for about 11 years, 11 to 12 years, but the first 5 years, I wasn't really playing I didn't have focus practice and stuff like that. Love my vids, learned a lot, been inspired because of you. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to do... It's something I've been working on. That's like a new piece that I've been playing around with. Do you watch Stranger Things? Try and play something about that. I actually just watched it for the first time yesterday. More tips on improvising. Shay, want to join us for an Israeli-style Halloween party? Yes, I do. Can you please email me this information? I totally do. I was actually just yesterday. It's funny. How did you know I'm downtown? I'm downtown right now. I'm actually in Tribeca in Soho. Do I regret not starting piano earlier? I don't regret that. Why would I regret that? Because maybe it would have been cooler if I started. Maybe I would have been better than I am today. But you know what? I started when I started, and I've been having a blast. I've been having a really good time. Shay, do you have my email? It's my full name at gmail.com. dotannegrin@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll come and hang out. That'd be really funny if I actually come to this party. Loving the tunes, dude. Appreciate the replies on Instagram. Johnny, what's up? Oh yeah, by the way, before I go, I want to let you guys know that you guys can DM me on Instagram, and I respond to everybody. Just like Johnny Jones over there, I've been responding to every single one of you guys. So I'm about to head out because I'm going to go hang out with Shay. Ishai, Itai, מה קורה? מה אתה עושה עכשיו? That's my Israeli voice. When will I be streaming again? I try to do all my streams on the weekend, so Saturday or Sunday. I don't have like a concrete schedule, but I probably should because I know it would help keep you guys in the know to know when I come on. Jump and walk. I've been playing anti-piano and making anti-progress. Every pianist starts out playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Did you just write C in Hebrews? It's crazy. For jazz, I'd suggest learning different types of scales, particularly just diminished scales. John Wong, yeah, that's good, but it still doesn't give you the complete image. You have to get a good grasp on music theory. You have to get an understanding of what the notes are and how to put the notes together into chords and how the different relationships are. But don't worry, guys. I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm going to be explaining to you. These are a lot of questions, a lot of deep, deep questions. I only have an hour, so I will be back, and we're gonna chat soon. Chat soon, everybody. All right. Privet, shalom. All right, guys. You guys are so awesome. I really appreciate it. Send me a message on Instagram, Piano Around. Go find me on Instagram, guys. All right, and give me a like. I know I'm asking for a lot, but please, you guys are awesome, all right? Give me a high five. Ready? 3, 2, wait. Bye, Jonathan, Daniel, peace. Pa! Oh, wait.